Yo, welcome to my channel, Ward Draws a Lot. Obviously I'm Ward, or I wouldn't have named it Ward Draws a Lot. Today I'm going to be opening my sketchbook, and we're going to be drawing an OC together. But before I draw the OC, there's something important I need to discuss. This pencil right here. It'll be missed. It was a good few months. And you know, it's time to move on. So see ya. Alright, now new pencil, and it's gonna be a nice fresh new start to drawing OCs. By the way, I actually tear doing that. It's very easy for me to cry on command, and now my eyes are watery. So for like a few days, I've been thinking, what kind of OC do I want to draw? Because I really wanted to do one, but in my head I'm like, I don't know what I should like approach it with. Should it be like an outfit that's an inspiration, or maybe like a piece of clothing, or just like hair, something in specific. I like to use things that I see as a reference to create an OC. So what I did, I went onto Google and I was like, okay, let's look up some men's fashion. Bad idea. Men don't have fashion. And this isn't like at a stab at men or anything. I look up men's fashion and it's very bare bones. It's always a t-shirt, usually short sleeve, with a pair of jeans and sneakers. And I'm like, no, that's not fashion. That's just like an everyday wear. And even then I'm like, okay, maybe I don't necessarily need avant-garde items or like things that are called couture. And I just wanted something nice to draw on a dude. So I continue looking up men's fashion. Nothing. I find nothing. So I was pretty upset and disappointed by that. I was like, why can't guys? Wow. Guys dress cool too, or like in a certain manner or a certain way. I feel like men are I'm not able to speak today. This hurts. I feel like men are held to a certain standard of dress, or like dress code, where they have to dress a certain way to be masculine. And personally, I think that's dumb. Same thing with the feminine dress and wear. It's like girls don't necessarily have to dress girly to be a girl. You are what you are. Who cares? So I personally like drawing males who wear girlier, or how do I say, more feminine type clothing. And then that's just I like that style in general. I think maybe it's because I dress more masculine in general that I like drawing male characters in feminine clothing. I don't know how, you know, it's just a whole psychology thing. Whatever. You know, you like what you like and you draw what you like. It only makes sense. So, yeah. Back to the drawing. I wanted to do a fairly muscular fellow, as I always do, because, you know, they're cute, like duh. So, I'm drawing my big beefy boy over here, but I made sure I wanted the contrast of him looking extremely beefy, but he has some kind of soft element to him. So I made sure when I was carving out his face features, is it really carving out? More like drawing out? I don't know. One or the other. When I'm doing his face features, I made sure to try and keep them very like, almost, it's not necessarily a baby face, but just a softer face. And it's wider too. Usually we associate wider faces with cuter things, such as like children will have a wide face and we think they're cute. Adults have more elongated and angular faces, which is why most of the time men and women won't be associated with the word cute unless they have chubby cheeks, but instead they're associated with the words like sexy, hot, handsome, beautiful, stuff like that. So I wanted to give him a cuter face, so I made it wider than normal, because I usually draw wide faces. I mean, long faces. Duh. Okay, so for his hair, I wanted something much curlier than usual. I usually stick to straightish hair or like some waviness, but I wanted to give him something different because I need to step out my comfort zone. And I gave him super curly hair, or at least I think it looks super curly for his hair type. In my head, it's fairly not super. It's coily, but not super duper kinky coily. Get me? I hope you do. If not, sorry. But yeah, I gave him curly enough hair, and I made sure it was like a brownish color. You'll see it when I color later on. And it kind of, I feel like, adds to the soft aesthetic in his face. For his clothing, I decided to do a black silhouette. So it would be a black turtleneck and black pants that are ripped. And I wanted some kind of color added in. And I was thinking, which color do I want? And the first one that pops in my head, like always, is pink. Because I love how pink looks. It's so soft and beautiful, and I just love it. It's such a nice color. So I decided to keep the black aesthetic, but have him wear like almost like a crop top over the black turtleneck sweater and make it pink with like darker pink stripes. I also decided to give him a pink belt and 2 little pink clips in his hair to bring it all together, because like I personally, whenever I dress, if I have a color element, I like to match it somewhere else. So like if my shirt is red, my shoes are red. If my like hijab is blue, maybe my pants are blue. Some, you know, like a mixture of different things, because I just like how it holds a nice kind of cohesion. It's like everything looks like it makes sense. The colors are there and it looks nice. I don't like when there's too many colors, because then I feel like you lose the silhouette of drawing, or even like in my everyday wardrobe, I like to keep to like 3-4 colors, but then like something matches somewhere. You get me? Now we get to the coloring portion. This time, I remembered to start off with the skin tone. And the reason why I want to start with the skin is because, let's say I started with the hair first, which I did the last few times, and that was like a mess up. But if I started with the hair, which is a darker tone, and then I come in with the skin color, which is lighter tone, it would mix in together strangely if they touched. And I wouldn't like that. It would also probably bleed onto the skin tone, which would suck. I don't want that, because it's like I want them 2 distinct, separate colors, and I don't want them to look muddy. So I remembered to go in with the skin tone first, which I'm so happy I did. And I started super light with it this time. I wanted to see how light it could go, and then how it would look in the end, because I started off with a super light color. And I think it came out pretty nice. And I used that light color to help me distribute the blush on his face a little bit better, because I didn't want it to be like this just heavy, weird block of color in the middle of his face. I wanted it a nice soft blend, and I think I did achieve that. The only thing I wish I kind of would have done better with the coloring of the face is the lips. I like it, but I think they are a little too dark. Or maybe I'm just beating myself up, like always. So I think it didn't come out too bad. And then, of course, I colored his hands and the skin patches in his pants, which I think came out pretty nice. The hands, I think I should have blended out a little bit better. I'm gonna be real here. But the pants, rips, the skin tone came out pretty nice under them. I felt like it would have a decent, oh my god, I can't speak, a decent amount of shading around the ripped parts of the pants, because that's where the shadow would be most heavily casted, and then in the middle it would look much lighter because, you know, there is light actually hitting it. For his sweater, I decided to use only 3 colors, which for me is like a, not a dangerous move, but like a riskier one, because I like to transition a lot between shades so it looks like a smoother gradient. But I don't have enough for my refills. Wow, my voice. I don't have enough for my cool gray refills, and I want to try and conserve them as much as possible before I have to buy new ones. So I decided to use these other neutral gray tones that I had in there. So I had a neutral gray 5 and a neutral gray 2, and I have black, and they're all pretty far apart from each other. Oh my god, my voice keeps doing this. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to work smart with how these blend together. Now, black is an extremely far off color compared to N5 and especially N2, which is super light. So I had to go back and forth a lot and blend a lot with them. And then at that point I was like, dude, I might as well would have just used my cool grays, because overall I wouldn't have used more ink because I wanted to blend it more together, because they're so far off from each other, these tones. But I was like, okay, honestly, it's not that horrible. Maybe I'm just being over dramatic, and you know, I just don't want to waste ink because that's shmoney, and I need shmoney in order to buy more refills. So whenever they're in stock, which will be I don't know how long from now, I will get them, especially because Copic did this new refill system, which stinks because it is half the amount of ink for virtually the same price. And I sit there like, why? What was the point of that? It's like, they were like, you could refill the marker up to like 10 times with the new refills. And I'm like, yeah, but you could refill it like 20 times with the other one. So they're like trying to play it off real smooth. Like, yeah, you know, you can still refill the marker hella times. And I'm like, you know what the fuck you're doing. You know you're having us spend more money to refill the markers. And it's like, fine, y'all want to play that game, that's cool. A lot of people decided, hey, I'm going to switch to a different marker brand, which is a good idea, honestly, because of the way Copic is treating its long-term customers at this point. They're like, yeah, we're just going to switch the milliliters amount to a smaller one and have you pay around the same thing. And then we're over here like, we're not dumb, bro. Like, we know what you're doing. So until I find like some refills on sale, I'll try and preserve my cool gray tones because I don't want to use them too much, and you know, just like I explained. And if I find them on sale, I'll definitely snatch them up. If not, I gotta bite the bullet and I gotta buy them. That's it, because otherwise I don't want my markers to dry up, and then like if the nib dries up, it's gonna be super stiff. Then I'm gonna spend more money on a new nib, and I don't want that. It's gonna be like this endless cycle of money. So I might as well just do the smart thing as soon as possible and find a good refill. Back to the drawing. Here's that pink crop top that I said I was gonna do that with like stripes on it. Kind of reminds me of like a candy striper dress thing going on. Weirdly, I just thought of that right now. Candy stripers were like back in the 1950s, whenever they would volunteer in the hospitals, they would wear a white dress with red stripes, kind of like a candy cane, and they would call them like candy stripers. And they were usually younger girls who would volunteer in the hospital out of goodwill. From looking at this right now, as it's like replaying, the black didn't actually come out too bad, the black parts. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all, I added, ew, I said it like that, ew. I added a glitter belt. I don't think it comes up on camera, and that's like super upsetting, because I was like so excited. I was like, if I give him a glitter belt, that would be like the cutest thing in the world. Why not? I want a glitter belt. I can never find a glitter belt. Like, okay, that's not fair, but whatever. So, glitter belt, and I made sure his clips were glitter oh my god, I can't talk today. To match. I made his glitter clips to match his glitter belt, and I think it kind of showed a nice level of cohesion. For his hair, it was a little difficult to try and give it the curly look as it was being colored, so I decided to go lighter and then use some dark dots and then go even darker and darker. And his eyes are just a beautiful blue that I thought would be cute. He kind of reminds me of Hercules, weirdly enough. I don't know if any of y'all seen that movie Hercules, but this would remind me of a modern day, like, Hercules, in my head anyway. Maybe he doesn't look like that to any of y'all, and that's perfectly fine. That's just how I look at him, and I love Herc because he's just this beefy softy. He's just it's beautiful. So here's the finished OC, and I think he came out really cute, and I'm extremely happy with the result. So yeah, thanks for watching, and remember, I love you. Bye.